we're battling two action figure movies, Transformers, G.I. Joe.
I don't even know who the main character of your movie is.
When you want to watch a dumb, stupid movie, like I want bad CGI.
What is up, Drive-By Movies here, and you're watching
Screen Scuffle.
My name is James.
My name is Blaze.
And today we're doing the long-awaited battle of Hasbro Paramount movies, G.I. Joe versus Transformers. And whether or not we like these movies or not, we're just here to defend which movie's better just because we love debating and we just want to see our movie win. Transformers, a Michael Bay movie, G.I. Joe,
Steven Summers movie.
Yeah, I was wondering if you even knew. I was wondering if you even knew.
A little gotcha moment there.
You know what's the coolest part about your movie? It's a little mini Mummy reunion.
Look at I got.
But each person only has like one or two scenes tops. Other than that, it's just like, I don't even know who the main character of your movie is, to be honest.
You know, it's my boy right here.
Is he though?
Yeah, Channing Tatum. He's there. You know, this is before Channing Tatum really blew up. I think he thought that this was going to be the vehicle that really projected himself into stardom. But, you know, it was later down the road, other films. But yeah, I felt like G.I. Joe is if these are both just bonehead, popcorn, blockbuster, dumb movies. And I remember going to see G.I. Joe back in the day. I mean, I also saw Transformers back in the day, but G.I. Joe was just so much fun in theaters. I'm a huge G.I. Joe head as like, when it comes to the 6-inch action figures, not the huge 12-inch ones.
So you're not an original fan, then? Those are the
OG. Yeah, but those were different. Those are different. This is obviously made as an homage to the 6 inches because they were all about having like different characters, and a lot of the characters are in this movie. The original 12 inches were just like army men essentially. They weren't like the characters like Shipwreck and a lot of the characters from this film.
Uh-oh. Looks like you're asking for trouble now.
Okay, so I'm going into this battle not knowing really anything about G.I. Joe or Transformers. I'm just going in, just watching the movies and deciding which is the better. And Transformers is actually a very fun, watchable movie. First, into trashing your movie, though. 16 minutes in, some shameless movie marketing with like terrible product placement, Cisco Wi-Fi routers.
That's on my notes.
How
actually on my notes. I think the product placement ages this movie perfectly into being like kind of fun, like stupid cringe. Because you're right, Cisco's one of the product
underground, like crazy base of a secret military organization that the U.S. president doesn't even know about. And you mean to tell me they're using Cisco Wi-Fi routers?
And they're also
the same ones my parents use?
They double down because they're actually projected by Norton antivirus. When's the last time you heard that?
You know that crap doesn't work in general, and the fact that this base where nothing goes wrong is using that. No way. That was the most unbelievable thing I ever said. They're underground too. There's no way they have any reception down there with the Cisco router modem.
Dude, that's literally on. I said great product placement, Cisco, Norton antivirus. There's other product placement in this movie, but for me, that was like some of the best, like most hilarious product placement. But when it comes to this movie, I felt like we had great practical effects, some horrible CGI as well. No, some horrible CGI as well.
Oh my God.
That's what really aged the movie for me perfectly. When you want to watch a dumb, stupid movie, like I want bad CGI as well as some decent, good practical effects.
See, it'd be forgivable also though if your movie was older. Your movie's 2 years older than mine, and just like I was watching, it's like, how does this movie look so bad? 2009 isn't that long ago. Like, yeah, it's almost 20 years old, but like the fact that the CGI looks so bad versus my movie still holds up very well. Like, you know, it might not be as good as the newest Transformers movie, but it looks really incredible still.
It's a bad dream.
Also, just like more into your movies, like lips on Snake Eyes. That is the worst costume decision since nipples on Batman.
No, the lips are a throwback to Power Rangers, though. You know that was in the room where they're like, no, we need to throw on some lips instead of not having lips, because it is stupid, but it's like it's perfect because all Power Rangers had lips as well.
Yet they still got rid of it in the next 2 movies. So it goes to show that they knew they were wrong. Bryan Singer style costumes in this movie. He's the one who approved all of them, because like G.I. Joe, like we all know the iconic costumes of like the Cobra Commander guys, Snake guys, but they didn't even go for those. And then also, I don't remember these robotic suits ever being used, or these mech suits.
That's just peak 2000s BS. That every movie when they adapted it, they had to like throw in something like, this is what we think.
Because they're ripping off Transformers.
Yeah, but no, I didn't think it was ripping off Transformers. It's just like, oh, exo suits are going to be cool. I mean, think about a lot of the technology in our film. Every film in that era had nanomites in it. Every film had some type of nanomites. And nanomites, if you're not really sure what that is it's just tiny little robots that would basically work together to become almost essentially a bigger robot, or just solve different tasks. So in our movie, they literally destroy things like the Eiffel Tower.
There's no repercussions for that. You just destroyed a huge landmark throughout the world, and you're just like, no big deal. It's all good. Like, I was like, how that should have been a big moment, but that's like, that captures like the terrible action movies of the time, where it's just like, how are you just going to destroy a huge landmark and not make it be like an awe-inspiring, like Spielberg moment where you get people like reacting to it, like, oh my God, our historic landmark being destroyed. And it's just like, oh, you know, like, oh, I didn't read the learner's manual on my mech suit. Sorry. And
it's just a fun little moment in this movie. It's absolutely ridiculous, but that's where I stand with G.I. Joe. It's stupid fun. Transformers, everyone always says all the time, oh, it's a Michael Bay movie. It's stupid fun blockbuster. This movie is so self-serious at so many moments.
No,
talk about
not at all.
hacking in my movie. Your movie has extended hacking scenes that are absolutely boring.
Shut up, Grandma!
Every time we see Anthony Anderson on the computer, it's just the most boring thing ever. I'm like, oh my God, he's living at home with his parents. Some of that stuff is a little funny, but just so overdone. And to give you one nod, he also has excellent camera work, which I wish they had here in G.I. Joe.
My movie's literally like beautiful. I was like amazed by how much detail goes in the shots and how much practical effects are still in it, because a lot of the movies are enhanced with the CGI. All the robots are coming out of actual explosions. We're seeing real things exploding within my movie, but just with the robot being added in the post-production. A lot of planning went into my movie, and it looks really good and holds up super well.
Miss me with all the BS fake Black Hawk Down, just boring action in the desert for no apparent reason. I disliked all of that.
I mean, it's a product of its time. We're at that. This is my friend and I were talking about how this is kind of the time where movies had to be 2.5 hours long. So there is like 4 different plots going on with Transformers, but overall they make the movie very easy to understand, with it revolving around this MacGuffin cube, the Allspark and stuff. It's a kid's movie at the end of the day. You got to make kids understand it, so we know that that's the big MacGuffin of the whole movie. The grease and sweat, that's like makeup effects that just really add to the grittiness, grotesqueness of this movie and how exhausting it is.
I'm watching a Transformers movie. I don't care about any of the grease and sweat unless it's on engines. Then I'm interested. 24 minutes too long of a kids movie is how I feel about Transformers. This thing overstays its welcome. G.I. Joe is definitely at the 2-hour mark, and I don't feel like it overstays its welcome at any moment.
Your movie has so many endings. Your movie has more endings than Return of the King. Where I was just like, what? Everything like, so the movie ends with like, you know, Cobra Commander announcing himself. And I was just like, oh, okay, we're going to get a big battle. And then no, he surrenders. And then we get like 3 cliffhanger endings after. And I was like, wait, what the? Like, your movie was just like so sped up at the end, and at least mine has an end. And you know what it ends with? What I've done. The song of the time, Linkin Park, rest in peace, Chester Bennington. That song is going to be stuck in your head and works for any ending of any movie of all time. It enhances it like crazy. And then also it's just like got a lot of cool emo music throughout it too. The Used is played with a Pretty Handsome Boy. I think the guitars that's used. Rise Against stickers, Green Day stickers are in the movie. And then, you know, Bernie Mac, rest in peace, and my movie. Great 5-minute sequence within this movie. My movie's actually genuinely funny too. I don't remember any jokes in your movie. Like they try to be funny by bringing in Marlon Wayans, but like,
80s montage. You heard of it? I thought that was hilarious. That was absolutely fun. I would say that there's moments where Marlon Wayans is trying to be like the funny character.
Oh, but also there's no way he went to college with Channing Tatum too. Like Marlon Wayans is like a decade older than Channing Tatum. Aged magnificently, of course, but just like, no, they at one point they say they went to like college together. I was like, oh, no.
When it comes to blockbusters, I want camp. And I feel like G.I. Joe really is the camp film when it comes to that era of filmmaking.
Call me Commander.
Transformers is self-serious. It's just way too serious for me. I loved how G.I. Joe is just so silly at moments. It's just so over the top patriotism, Djangoism. And I just absolutely enjoy to see Channing Tatum like on his way up.
How about we start at the beginning?
This is the beginning of his career. We get an awesome Brendan Fraser cameo for a little bit, a little throwback to Stephen Sommers and him from The Mummy. G.I. Joe, I would say, is one of the best. If you're looking for an action figure movie, because really we're battling two action figure movies. Transformers had these awesome action figures. So did G.I. Joe. The 6 inches were my favorite. I used to always go over to my cousin's house and play with them. They had the boat that was like, you could essentially put your little figures on. And that was my favorite, like throw it in the pool and like, oh, I got my figures. And then they'd rust like 6 months later. But it was absolutely fun. This exactly reminded me of that.
Yours required sets. Mine is 2 toys in one. So it like was everything you needed. I had Beast War toys, I remember, because I didn't have access to watching Transformers. So I'd watch Beast Wars, but it's, as you know, it's a spin-off of Transformers. But my movie, it's not taking itself too seriously. At the end of the day, it's a comedic movie that's you making jokes for kids and stuff. I think critics were watching this movie like, it's a movie that kind of messed up Hollywood. I'd say a lot of movies tried to capitalize on the success of Transformers, but it's a movie though that at the end of the day was just still trying to be fun for kids, but also has the crazy loud explosions of like the rated R movies of the early 2000s, late 90s and stuff too. That's why they got Michael Bay to make this movie. And it's a great blend of both. Like I didn't care for it when we first saw it. We were both 17 when this movie came out. We watched it in theaters. I didn't care for it. I forgot about it. But watching it as an adult now, I've like found it easy, and just all I gotta say is it's what I've done.
Yeah, I would say like if you're in the camp of G.I. Joe, like this is the movie that just, it brings those action figures to life. But anyways, guys, if you want to let us know who won, definitely leave a comment below. What was your favorite? Is it G.I. Joe? Is it Transformers? Leave a comment below. Go ahead and let us know who you think won this Screen Scuffle.
And after doing that, be sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button with the notification bell to get all our latest updates on future episodes of Screen Scuffle, as well as fresh releases.
And guys, definitely go ahead into the description box below. You can follow any of our socials. We're available on Letterboxd, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. So guys, tune in the future for a new episode of Screen Scuffle.